To me, the best thing about working here is that every day is different. There's never 2 days are the same. Guys are always changing, attitudes are always changing, relationships are always changing. Everything is just it's always an ever-changing thing. And so you just learn to be adaptable. You're really learning to, assimilate to different situations. You're really learning to love in different ways that you as a young man, that that whole unconditional love thing, you don't really understand fully, until God puts you in a situation that says, regardless of what this kid does or says, you have to love him. Regardless if he decides, he may cuss you out one day, you have to love him. And so you have to begin, you really begin learning, you really begin to understand that you have to be dependent on God. Because if not, you won't, you can't really make it through a lot. There's some rough days that you really just, you're just frustrated to no end, and you're just like, God, I really need you to come through for me. And the great thing about it is, for me, for those 5 years, he did. He always came through, and that's just really helped my experiences, with God. My growth in God has just been phenomenal, just because of that dependence on Him, and just really building some really great relationships, with young men, and learning how to balance discipline and love at the same time. Hopefully, when I begin my own family, that those are some things that I, could just say I'm that much further along in, is that there is a great balance between loving them, and then disciplining them, and letting discipline equal love. And it takes a while before young people especially learn that, but if you stay consistent, they do. And that's what makes it worth it. And all of a sudden the lights go off, like, I can take a discipline from you because I know you really care. And that's what some, not all of them get that, but some of them do. And that's when you really know, wow, this is, God's got you in the right place at the right time. And it's really exciting. But one thing I've learned, no matter what, in this role, is that kids just want people that care. They really just want people that care, people that are going to be there for them, people that are going to support them. And I mean, if you find yourself one of those type of people, that you may not be able to say all the great things, so you may not be a great orator or a great pastor, but you've just got a listening attitude, and you can really just listen to kids. This is just a great place for that. I mean, there's just so many different gifts that God's given that you have to have in order to do this. And just, just step out and just say, I can do that. I can love somebody that may not be that lovable. And I can listen, when, they may not even know exactly what to say. And those kinds of things can make all the difference in the world. And that's what I would encourage anybody who's afraid or thinking, I don't have the experience for this, I can't do that, I've never done this before. If you really just have a heart for God and a heart for others, then this really is a great place. The typical guy is just a teenager. He's just a teenager that's had to experience some really difficult things in his life and has acted out on those things in ways that we say is inappropriate, of course, and dangerous. And really, they come here, needing to be put back together. The pieces just need to be put back together. So, I mean, a typical guy is, they're fun, they're full of energy, and negative at times. There's no doubt about it. But what they need, is to be put back together, is to be, not beat like they were when they would do things bad before. Beat up on by the courts, or beat up on by, fathers, or beat up on, they need to know that, all right, you make mistakes, but you have to learn from them. And you have to learn how to, apologize for things that you do. And that is not necessarily the end of the world if you learn from it. But a lot of them, they do it, and then they're running. They spend the rest of their lives just running from the law, running from love, running from people, because they don't want to get in trouble anymore. And, that's all of them. And when they get here, some of them get a chance to stop running for the first time in a long time. Take this job because it'll help you grow. And that's all I can say. It's the best growth experience I've had. I've grown the most in my role here versus, I think, anywhere else. And this is a great place for that, for just growing. Personal growth, spiritual growth, just how you see the world. It's a great place to grow.